I'm so thrilled to be here and honored that you would work with me because I feel like I'm with my two best friends right now, Aaron and Krishna.
Krishna.
So it's wonderful, and to be here on the Big Island of Hawaii, from my perspective, is probably a dream come true. It's dream being realized, and my message to everyone out there is whatever you can do or whatever you dream you can, begin it, for boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Hold tight to your dreams. They are happening. Even though you may not see it in the present, it is going in the direction that you intended to. And this right now is my shared vision, my shared dream. And I discovered Maui when I was 20, wanted to stay there, had other things happen in my life that I had to be responsible for. And so right now, I am happy that I can be here in this moment because I'm here. That other aspect of my life was past. And the past absolutely brings you into the moment of what you are supposed to be doing. So I embrace my past, even though there's a lot of things in it as I reflect upon that I might have done differently, but yet I didn't. And it really matters because I'm here right now. And this is the only reality that I can say that I want to be in, is this moment in space-time. So in regards to coming back to Hawaii, I spent many, many years on the mainland. I had extremely beautiful experiences with many wonderful people, and I always had it in my deep, deep cellular DNA that I was going to make it back to the islands. And I'm here. And I'm so happy that I'm here. And so I really believe that gratitude is something that we need to carry with us, always. So even if something doesn't seem right in the moment, it absolutely is. And if you can go back in your life and reflect upon times to where things didn't go as you wanted them to, and then you see where you are right now, you understand, really, truly, that it was purposeful.
Maybe it's that it's responsibility and that you just have to own it.
Yeah, well, it's besides owning the responsibility, I think that there's something else that is there, and it's acceptance of that moment.
Right, yeah, it's not always a responsibility.
Yeah, it's going to it and realizing that this is what I need to do and what I have to do, and do it with a smile on your face. I mean, smiling is wonderful. I spoke to a woman yesterday at the post office, and she was just sitting there smiling, having a good time, and I asked her, I said, "Why are you so happy?" And she said, "I'm just a happy person." And I said, "Well, a lot of people, even in this place, don't seem too happy, because we got to stand in line, and you get a little, oh, anxious about, I want to be up at that counter and I want to get out of here and do what I'm doing." She says, "Oh no," she said, "you just need to be happy." And I said, "You mean you don't need to get drunk or get stoned or anything like that?" She says, "Oh no, oh no." And then I just realized that, we've been so inundated with the past 2 years of dealing with this contagion and of having to put masks on to hide who we are and to socially distance from people. Right. And I thought, you know what? The best contagion that we can spread is a smile. And so let's learn how to do that. Because when you smile, people will inevitably smile back at you.
And that's something that we've been affected by wearing masks.
Yeah,
We had it for over a year.
2
2
years.
years.
2 years.
Not being able to wear, not being able to wear our faces or smiles on our
Yes.
face.
Yeah. And yet, what I found is that whenever I go out in the world, I put on a mask. It's not a literal mask, it's a figurative one. Like, I'm going to do this today, I'm going to do this today, I'm
Right,
going to do
right.
that today.
Yeah.
So what we need to do, what we must do, is to be, as I said, it's just being grateful. Just be happy that we can be here, doing what we're doing, and being in a state of what I would consider in a state of grace.
Right.
Especially when you meet somebody and they say, "Hey, Aaron, how you doing?" And I love it when people ask me that, because what I say is that, number one, I woke up this morning.
You say that all the time.
Yeah, and number two, I woke up in Hawaii.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, if you could, just in context to how I see you say that, every single time you do that, I always think, he's so present in the now. He's so present. It's really wonderful to hear you say these things that make you that make me recognize that you're enjoying this moment, this day, where you
here.
are.
We're here.
Yeah.
I mean, and I want to be the one that can acknowledge the fact that through my life history, I made it here. And whatever the struggle, whatever the challenge, whatever there is, I'm here right now. I mean, I know that in my mind and in my consciousness, I've got all of these things that I'm responsible for.
Right.
And yet, right now, here I am, sitting again with two of my best friends, talking story about what we can do as human beings to make this world a better place. And how do I make it a better place? I know that I'm here for a reason. I know that life is just not eating, drinking, and sleeping. Although those are cool things to do, especially when you choose the right things to eat and drink.
What is your life's purpose? Because I feel like a lot of us operate with the day-to-day and forget about acknowledging that.
Simple service
Service to who?
to anyone who needs it. Any of these beings who comes my way, whether they're four-legged, whether they're two-legged, whether they're flying, whether they're growing from the earth, all of those beings are here, number one, for my enjoyment. My enjoyment. That's my self-love.
That's wonderful.
Because when I can hear that bird sing and go, wow, that is really cool. Now, for what reason is that bird singing?
For your enjoyment.
For my enjoyment. I mean, maybe doing it for their enjoyment, but I'm enjoying it too. So, what is it in life for those of us with these cerebral hemispheres between our ears that blocks that out, that doesn't hear that? For what reason don't we hear that? I mean, it's there, I can see, I can hear, I can taste, I can touch, I can smell.
I mean, speaking from my own experience, because you remind me all the time, which is why I enjoy your company, to live in the now and to live in the present and to acknowledge these things. I get caught up with just trying to catch up. I play the catch-up game, and my mind just stays super focused on I'm missing out on finishing this project. I have this other thing that I'm supposed to do. I'm backed up. I don't have time to focus on that. And that's
but isn't that, I mean, when you can step out of that frenetic state and think, God, that's really stupid.
well, how do you even do that? That's a challenge for me.
Well, you know how I do it? Honestly, they call me Dr. Frankincense on the island. And I love frankincense. I'm a total frankaholic, and frankincense helps me re-member that I am a spiritual being, and that in that spiritual essence, I can hear the birds. I can smell these beautiful floral essences that are here in Hawaii. And even if I'm not in Hawaii, I can still smell things, and I can touch things. I can feel this dog's wonderful soft fur, and it feels so good. And what's cool about it is that I don't have to kill them and skin them and wear it. You know, this is live. This is wonderful. This is a warmth. This is just fantastic. And it gives me a sense of really honoring the reason they're here. And again, why is this being here? For my enjoyment. So I can sit here and talk to you and make some kind of sense about this insane world that we're in.
Right.
Some kind of sense. And why are you here? You're here for my enjoyment. And hopefully I'm here for your enjoyment.
I think we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and it's this reciprocity that we have as two men, two human beings that are looking at this insane world and saying, how is it that we can make a difference? And from my perspective, we're making a difference right now because we are working together and we are co-creating our Hawaiian wellness site on YouTube so that you can come and listen to what it is that we are just believing is necessary to make the planet a better place to live. And that's what we're doing. And as I always said, talking about frankincense, I mean, I had the wonderful opportunity to go to a place that's called the Sultanate of Oman, which grows the finest frankincense in the world, and source it, and I have it. And it is something, and as I was saying, I remember, member who I am when I can sit with the frankincense resin, the smoke from it, breathe it in, have it go through my blood-brain barrier, through my amygdala, feel that amygdala just go, wow, man, what's going on? And then that amygdala starts to go into this wondrous brainwave frequency, and when it hits that gamma brainwave, it starts to stimulate that pineal gland that we all have, and the pineal releases serum DMT. And that's why all these people are like going, oh man, I gotta go down to South America and I gotta find a shaman and I've gotta take ayahuasca, or I've gotta, take this frog and, this bufo and like take this frog medicine and get whatever. And you don't need to do that. All we need to do is breathe. And we can use frankincense to do that. Because frankincense is here as this beautiful gift of God through nature, so that human beings can remember why we're here. Why are we here? We're here to do so much. We're here to do this. We're here to listen to those birds. What are those birds saying? What's that language?
I don't know, but they're talking to each other.
Yeah, they are. And they're talking to us, which is really cool.
They want us to hear them.
They want us to hear what they're saying. Now, supposedly, if you were, a shaman or one of those beings that really had the ability to listen and to hear, you might be able to just go, wow, I can understand what they're saying. And you know what they're saying? They're saying, hey, Aaron, be happy. That's the message.
When you put it that way, it's obvious.
Well, isn't it?
Yeah, when you say listen, when I hear the birds chirp, it's obvious that their message, the one that I can take home, is to be happy.
Just be happy.
Be happy. Enjoy the sound of my singing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
and
singing. It is singing.
It's singing. Singing is just wonderful. It's the melee. It's like what we, sing and dance with life, And that's what's important, is that your wife is one of the most exquisite dance teachers on the planet. And she is teaching the moves that a person can go through to feel themselves in this time space, because I believe that when you're dancing, you actually transcend time space. You become time space, and other people transcend it with you when they're watching you, and that's the beautiful thing about what your wife is doing. I mean,
You went to her performance, or our performance, for Waterloo
Yes.
Collaborative,
And that was so beautiful.
conjunction with the Kona Dance Studio.
Yeah.
And you saw the production she put on.
Yeah. And it was amazing.
A 2-day donation based, keeping the Kona Dance Studio open, and it was high ticket prices, but in an effort to keep the Kona Dance Studio open. And we had 24 tickets, so not a lot of people in there, but you got an opportunity to see it. So what'd you think?
Well, first off, I'm thrilled that you said, what did you think? Because I didn't think, I felt. And that was the brilliance of that performance. Because my cerebral hemispheres were going, oh, well, look at this, and look at that movement, and look at this. I was a part of it. And that was magical. And I really appreciate that your wife had the creativity to make that happen with the audience.
She's wonderful.
Yeah. Because I believe that the entire audience didn't think about it, they felt it. What was your perspective on that?
Well, being an audience member, not being an audience member, I'm so appreciative that she let me be a part of that.
Yeah.
I'm not a dancer by trade, so now she's introducing me to actual performance, and I was a performer. The last time I performed on stage was Les Mis in high school.
Wow.
And I was excited to see people starting to arrive.
Yep.
It became so viscerally real to be waiting for the performance to start. And your mind thinks in a different way when a performance is about to start. And you know that because you operate in a similar way, being an event organizer. And
Yes.
then creating your festivals. And the whole day kind of has a structure to it. So you're basically, in essence, also an orchestrator as well. But you know how that feeling is, and it was beautiful.
Well, and it was really beautiful to see you step up to the plate and say, yeah, Katie, I'll dance with you. Because you did it so well. And
I
was
appreciate
beautiful,
that. Thank you.
And it was really awesome. And you just showed another facet of the crystal that you are, that said, well, Aaron can do this too. And Aaron, we can do anything that we want to do, providing we really want to do it.
Right.
And that's just it. It's that setting your intention on the goal. And even if it's not the goal that is like, I'm going to wake up this morning and I'm going to, wash my face and brush my teeth. I mean, that's what we do. But the thing is that I can still hear the birds sing. And those birds tell me, wow, it's so wonderful to be alive, Randyl. Don't forget that. Don't forget it. And again, like I said, that's why I love frankincense. because whenever I go in my slumps, I'll just go and put some frankincense on the burner, or just take some oil and take some deep, deep rhythmic breaths, and I'm there.
You know, I've used frankincense before, in your frankincense, and I love the way that it smells. I even put it in my beard.
Oh yeah, it's wonderful for that. Yeah,
At one point, you were telling everybody to put it in their masks.
yeah. It's just amazing to me because I'm so uh, convinced that there are ways that we all can be better people in regards to our choices. And my choice is to, especially one of the things that I really focus on and believe is what I choose to put on my plate. I mean, that's, to me, that is worth just about everything, because I can save lives just by what I choose to put on my plate. And the thing is that if I can do it, anybody can do it. Because I was not in a situation when I was a young person that was aware and intelligent enough to know that that hot dog is not a hot dog, it's a pig. Or that steak.
You started that kind of part of your life where you became aware of that and started going away from eating meat, maybe even dairy, at a young age.
Well,
right?
I was 20 years old.
This is even before veganism became a huge thing,
Yeah.
or became
Yeah,
even
yeah.
recognizable.
I mean, yeah, and
to where it is now.
and what was fruitful about that, no pun intended. See, I can have some fun. I was in a community in Fallbrook, which is North County, San Diego, that really was a supportive community. And we had a lot of people that were, at that time, they didn't call themselves vegans, but they, we were on a whole foods, plant-based diet. And there were people, I mean, there was these guys in Laguna Beach that were just, they were so weird, wild, and wonderful that they had a cow, and they would walk down the streets of Laguna Beach, and they would say, "Love animals, don't eat them," and it was just so cool, and we were, we knew people like that, just unique because deep down inside.
Well, what year was this?
Oh gosh, I don't know, the 70s.
Okay.
And deep down inside, I knew that if I could tell my family that I was going to be a vegan, vegetarian, that I could go through the rest of my life and do it. And so I was going to school, and Thanksgiving happened to come about, and this deep, deep inner impulse said, go home, have dinner with the family, and tell them that you're not going to eat meat. And I thought, oh, okay, it's no big thing, right? I mean, I'm 20 years old, I'm filled with piss and vinegar, and, I can tell those people what I want because I'm already a black sheep and they know it. So my grandmother, God bless her, she used to save for me the drumstick. And when you have a big family, there's at least 20 people, and there's only 2 drumsticks, but she would always save it for me. And so she would stay up all night long, baste the turkey, get everything ready, and it was interesting because this is the first time that the Thanksgiving dinner was held at our house. It was usually at my grandparents' house. but this is the first time that it was at ours. So, we've got the big table, and we got aunts, uncles, cousins, mom, dad, everybody there. And my grandmother, God bless her, is like bringing me this giant drumstick and putting it on my plate. And I looked up at her, and she's just this beautiful European woman with these robin eggs, blue eyes, and she's handing it to me. And I said, "Oh, no thanks, Grandma." And it was like I almost punched her, because she was like really giving this to me out of love, really out of love. And she just kind of jumped back and said, "Oh, well, I thought you liked the drumstick, but, do you want light meat, dark meat?" And I said, "No, not really." And then my mom was coming over with this big giant ladle of dressing, because she knew how much I loved the dressing in the past. And I said, no thanks, Mom. And so it was wild, they all like were looking at me. And I said, pass the corn and the beans and the cranberries and the mashed potatoes, and don't put any gravy on it, by the way. And then there was silence, and they're all like looking at me. And my mom walks over and goes, "Are you ill?" And I said, "No, I'm a vegetarian." And Aaron, I swear to God, I could have said that I was a heroin addict, gay caballero, and I might have gotten some kind of compassion. But when I say I'm a vegetarian, I mean all of these eyes and these daggers.
You're starting to see that culture shift in huge waves, and now
Absolutely.
veganism is bigger, a
Yeah,
lot bigger.
well, it's kind of in some ways for some people to say, "Oh, I'm vegan, gluten-free."
Yeah, like as if it's
whatever.
just a modality for food.
Yeah, but I could wax on for hours in regards
To what that looks like.
to what it is all about, in regards to who we are as human beings and our gastrointestinal tract, and especially when you do comparative anatomy. We were never meant to eat any kind of animal product.
For me, particularly whenever it comes to veganism, I was introduced to it because my uncle, who lifts weights and is very adamant about bodybuilding,
Yeah.
he introduced me to a series of videos about just how they treat chickens and the factory farming industry, even the beef industry. And the egg industry is just incredibly scary.
It's disgusting.
It's scary.
Yeah.
And so I listened to a bunch of other people too. It's just incredibly the opposite of harmonious. It's not good for you. I mean, it's not like kind to the spirit. It just is. How do you allow that to be consistent with a quality life?
Well, see, that's the program. I mean, we're all programmed, and if you really sit back and think about it, I mean, my ancestors, were hunter-gatherers, and the thing is that were they really? This is something that you need to look into, and then also
that's an interesting prospect, and Dr. McDougall talks about that.
Yes.
How these gladiators would fight, and they wouldn't actually be eating. They would be eating a plant-based diet.
Plant-based diet. Yes, they absolutely were. And then the other thing is that, one of the things that I see is that besides having, hormones and antibiotics and things like that, we are eating fear.
Yep.
Fear.
Yeah.
And what does that fear do when you eat it? We're just living graves.
Yeah.
Of fear-filled beasts.
Right.
And that is one of the reasons why we can go to war. We are here paving a new reality for humanity. And that's the reason why, I feel so honored, so blessed, so graced that we can sit here and do this.
I do feel like you are a pillar in that ground, because you paved the way in a lot of ways, not only for myself, but for this community when you create the events that you've been.
Well, what's fascinating about that is that I saw the Dalai Lama being interviewed, and they asked him, they said, you know, what's the most important thing that we can do as human beings? And you know what he said?
Mm-mm.
Have festivals.
Really?
I mean, what is a festival? I mean, think about it. A festival is a time to where, again, you walk away from, I got to do the laundry, I got to take care of the kids, I've got to pay the bills, I've got to do this, and you're just there to experience what it is to have joy in your life. That's what a festival is for. And our festivals, our avocado festival, our mango festival, our coconut, macnut festival, you have to come to Hawaii to be able to have a Hawaiian mango, and a Hawaiian avocado, and a Hawaiian coconut or macnut, and to enjoy what that is, the taste, the flavor, the scent, the aroma, the perfume from all of those things is it's really a magical experience, a magical sensual experience. And when you can be in that moment, you are in the moment. You are being realized. And we need more realization on this planet.
So you created agricultural festivals.
Yes. Free agricultural festivals, because when I came from Oahu, moved to the Big Island on December 31st, 1999, I wanted to spend the new millennium on the Big Island. And I've been here since that time. And one of the first events I went to was a seed exchange. And the seed exchange was free. You didn't pay to get in, you didn't pay for the seeds, you were just there to experience what it was like to have these wonderful seeds that have that dynamic in them, that if you put them in the ground, just feed them a little, give them a little water, maybe some soil amendment, they're going to grow into what we have around us. You know, this beauty of life. And it's a wow experience. It truly is. It's like awe and wonder. I mean, I can be a child and I can open up this mango and taste it and go, wow, that is so good. It's even better than ice cream. And what's ice cream? Ice cream is something that I have to get a cow, I have to put her on a rape rack, I have to do this ugly thing to inseminate her so that she has a baby. And what's amazing to me is that people don't know that cows have to be pregnant in order to give milk. I mean, it's like, oh, don't they just give milk? I mean, people that are our age don't know that. They think the cows just give milk. And they have to go through this horrible thing, and then their babies are taken away from them. And usually the males are put in a little pen and sold as veal. And then they take the females and they just raise them so they can be another milk machine. It's so sad. Really, really sad.
I mean, it's not until you start actually putting these things in your face to start recognizing what the issue is.
Yep.
Do you start to try and make a difference? And I mean, that difference could be minor, and in my case, it was just to stop eating dairy, stop eating eggs, stop eating chicken and pork and beef and fish, but those little things help me to just recognize that I can be better if I just say no, and that's where I'm at right now. I'm glad that I'm at least recognizing that much, so I can live my life in a place that was better than I think it was when I was in disassociation to those things.
Well, and what's fascinating too is that, you know, when I talked about the aspect of you know, eating hormones and antibiotics, and people become antibiotic resistant because of the fact is that there's tons of, I mean, a majority of the antibiotics that are produced are given to animals, so they aren't sick, and they are sick already. But we eat that. Yet the biggest thing for me is the fear. If you've ever been to a feedlot and seen those animals go through it, there's fear. I mean, you can cut it, no pun intended, with a knife.
Yeah.
And
Well, even in, I mean, around 2015, 16, there was the mad cow disease, maybe even earlier than that.
Yeah.
And they were, I mean, what were the regulations? And still, like, if people aren't regulating, things get irregular.
They get out of hand.
And they get out of hand. So at one point, they were feeding cows to cows.
Yeah.
And that became a problem.
Well,
and it wasn't until it started causing problems in the human human form that we started doing something about it. But that doesn't sound good.
well, I mean, you know, that's cannibalism.
It's not. It's
That is cannibalism.
It's all for profiteering at that point.
Yeah, and now they feed fish to cows, to pigs, and those animals were never ever designed by nature to be carnivores, and yet they're still feeding them that stuff. And a majority of the plants that we grow, what are they grown for? They're grown for feedlots, so that we can feed these animals, they can eat it, and then we can eat them. That's secondhand protein. Secondhand. They're not getting it from the plants. And look at a gorilla. I mean, those beings are like so powerful, so strong. They don't eat meat.
Right.
Why not? Because they don't eat it. And we're the same dynamic anatomy as they are. So what are we doing?
I mean, we're sitting right in front of your garden here, and you have some aloe, you have basil, or
Yeah,
can you tell us a little bit about what you have here?
I've got aloe, basil, beautiful lavender roses, rosemary, lavender, some peonies. I've got mint, arugula, green onions,
It's wonderful.
leeks, and I've got the beautiful vanilla going up the papaya.
You have papaya on the property, pineapple, avocados, mango. It's a food forest here.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is. And I want to do more. I want to start growing mushrooms.
But you've been capturing seeds and growing your own foods from even before you were
Oh, yeah.
before you went to that seed exchange.
Yeah. Oh, well, like I said, I've been doing this since I was 20 years old. So I've been really involved in this, and it doesn't make me any more enlightened, and it doesn't make me any better, but it just makes me know what I came here to do. And I'm still healthy. I'm still strong. I may be lean, but I'm not skinny, and I can keep up with people half my age and even younger, and I think that that's very cool.
You know what is also really cool? Your dogs are how old?
They're 12.
12 years old?
Yeah.
And I've never seen dogs that old that look that young.
Yeah, they're amazing. Yeah, they are. They're beautiful, and I feed them. Every
Feed them
day.
frankincense.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no. I mean, I make their foods. and they eat very, very well. And people ask me, why do I do that? And I say, because they're my friends. That's why. I mean, if you came over, I would not.
I didn't know what you were making at one point, and
Well, yeah,
you
it
had
looks
all
like
this delicious food getting put into a blender. I'm like, that looks like it's going to be a great
meal.
either soup or just something really good. And I was thinking, I wonder what he's making. And you just started adding more and more and more, and you put some into a blender, a lot of avocado.
Yep.
And then you told me that it was for the dogs, and I thought, wow, those dogs are eating really well.
Yep, they are.
And every once in a while, we'll be driving together, and I saw you get some avocados off the side of the road, and you got them for your dogs.
Yeah.
They are your best. They are your best friends.
Oh, they are. I mean, dogs truly have unconditional love, and
I've seen your relationship with them, and it's beautiful.
yeah, they're wonderful. I mean, they don't care whether I wake up and I'm in a horrible mood, or I don't feel well, or I'm not happy. I mean, they're just there to say, hey, it's a new day. Listen to the birds, man.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
I mean, so there is something to the lifestyle that you have here, that you've created. But if we want to go back to the seed exchange and recognize that that was a pillar to what you've started here.
Well, it catalyzed me to say, wow, we need to have an avocado festival, because I had an avocado farm when I was in Southern California in Fallbrook, and in Fallbrook mainly you commercially grew avocados for a cash crop, and primarily there were only two different kinds. There were Haas and Fuerte. I mean, here there's over 200 varietals of avocados. So I thought, I want to create a free festival. So I had one on my farm. We had a 15-acre organic farm.
And that was your farm on this island?
Yeah, that was up in Hona now. And I invited all the neighbors, because I know that if you're going to have a party, you better invite your neighbors. And I did, and we had over 300 people come. And it was awesome. It was so much fun, and people loved it. And then I invited Ken Love, who's the executive director of the Tropical Fruit Growers Association, who is kind of like my guru for tropical fruits and for everybody, tropical fruit-wise. And he saw what we did and what happened, and he said, "You gotta take this to the community, man. You had like 300 people come up to your farm, but you gotta do this." So he introduced me to the director of Amy Greenwell Ethnobotanical Gardens, and the next year the Avocado Festival was there, and it continued there until we grew out of it. I mean, people didn't have any places to park, to where we were getting like thousands of people coming. And then I moved it to the Keoho Beach Resort, which was a wonderful place. That was awesome. That was a really cool venue. And then Kamehameha Schools, Michigan State, shut it down. And then we moved it to the Keoho Beach Resort. And then I just started to think, well, I don't want to give my money to corporations. So I knew that there was Holly Hullaby, which is a county facility. I went to the county and started renting that, and it's downtown on Oli'i Drive, and it's wonderful because whenever you have tourists, they're always downtown, and they're going to walk by. I mean, you don't even have to advertise. They're going to walk by and go, "Wow, what's happening there?" There's music, and there's people, and there's vendors, and so they come in. I mean, I'd probably get 1,000 people just from that, and I really like it. But for the past 2 years, we haven't been able to do it. So now we are going to have our 13th Mango Festival at Holly Hullaby. It's our 12th annual on August 13th at Holly Hullaby, which is downtown Kona on Oli'i Drive. And then we had our 15th Avocado Festival at the first Saturday of April, and it was amazing. And this man's lovely, talented, creative wife actually did the artwork for the poster, which was magnificent. And it's continuing. Then we're going to have what we call Going Nuts for the Holidays in November, which is Mac Nuts and Coconuts. And then in December, we're going to have our Hawaiian Wellness, which is going to be all about wellness here on the Hawaiian Island.
Wow.
And that's going to be really cool.
So you've been bringing these free events to the community for years.
For years. And right now, I went to an event that was at Old Airport, that was on the runway there, that was promoted by a local radio station. And they called it Reggae on the Runway. And it was more Hawaiian than reggae. So I have a dear friend that to me is like the queen mother of reggae music and Bob Marley and things. She's been on the mainland. Her name is Makeda Dread for like in San Diego, and she has the World Beat Center, and you can look it up online and on Facebook. And this woman started the Bob Marley festivals. She knows all of the legends of Jamaica, and she's going to come for the Mango Festival, and she's going to help us out, and we're going to do a fundraiser. That's with a capital F-U-N-D, Razor, for our radio station, and our radio station is Kona, K-O-N-A, 100.5 LPFM. It's an awesome community radio station, and we need to get people to support it. And as I said, it's community radio. It's like HPR, and HPR does these wonderful things. And
well, it's beautiful. It's beautiful that all this is happening. It's also raining now.
It's also raining, and we gotta go.
And we gotta go, but again, the radio station needs support.
Yes.
So if you can support the radio station, Kona 100.5.
Yeah.
And the fact that this Mango Festival is coming up soon, can you tell us what the date is for the?
It's
Mango
Saturday,
Festival?
August 13th, Holly Hullaby, and you'll be hearing a lot about it, word of mouth as well as other things. But thank you both so much. Aaron, you're the man, and we love you.
All right, perfect. And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap, kids. Let's go.